magical treats taste great, but justice and equality taste better. To combat hate, all ad revenue from my HB Kitchen will be donated to trans and LGBTQ charities. Thank you for supporting the kitchen and helping make the world a better place. Mischief managed.
Hello witches, wizards, and those who have just escaped from Azkaban, welcome back to my Harry Potter kitchen. This is the YouTube series where we're baking our way through the Harry Potter books, creating recipes for every item of food and drink that we find inside. If you missed last week's recipe, some two-tone pepper imps, fresh from Honeydukes with a lovely chili and cinnamon kick, then make sure you check out the link down below in the description to catch up. And if you're new to the kitchen and you don't want to miss any of my Harry Potter recipes, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you get an alert every Magic Monday when there's a brand new recipe. We've got plenty more on the way, so let's make some magic. Our next recipe from the Prisoner of Azkaban can also be found in Chapter 5, the Dementor. We don't have to look far for our next recipe, as Ron is still describing all of the treats you can find at Honeydukes, and that's where we see great fat chocoballs full of strawberry mousse and clotted cream. Well, that sounds like a match made in heaven. Now, I don't know about you, but these chocoballs sound incredible, and we have a pretty good description of what we need to include in them with our strawberry mousse and the clotted cream. So I'm going to serve these up as a enclosed dessert. We're going to create a lovely crisp chocolate shell and then fill them with that mousse and that cream. It is super easy to make. So if you're having yourself a Harry Potter dinner party, this is one that you can prepare in advance and bring it out just in time for dessert to wow your guests. First things first, we need to create the outer shell, and I'm going to show you how to do the half temper method. So this is a really good way to save some time but still get that lovely shiny crisp outer shell. If you've never tempered chocolate before, this is what you need to do. To create our Chocoball recipe, we're going to start off by making our chocolate shell. For this, we're going to use the half temper technique, but of course you can do a full temper if you like. That's going to make sure we get a nice shine and a snappy break to it. I've placed half of my chocolate onto a chopping board and then chopped that into some rough chunks. Place that in a bowl over simmering water and then allow that to melt until lovely and smooth. Remove that from the heat, and then you want to chop the remaining half of your chocolate into some small chunks as well. I'm going to slowly incorporate that chopped chocolate into the melted chocolate, and that is the process of half tempering. That set chocolate is going to gradually reduce the temperature of the melted chocolate, and that is going to help give us that wonderful finish that we desire. It's all about the process of controlling how the sugar crystals move around and set together. Once you're happy with the melted chocolate, you then want to pour a couple of tablespoons into your silicone molds. I've gone for some quite large spheres. As Ron mentioned, these need to be great fat chocoballs. Swirl the melted chocolate around to coat the insides, and then keep on going for around a minute to help get a lovely even layer. I'm then going to tip that over a wire rack and a baking tray and allow any of the excess chocolate to drip down. At this point, you can flip it back over, clean up the edges with an offset spatula, and then pop that into the fridge to set. One layer for your chocolate should be enough, but if you want a really thick chocolate shell, then all you need to do is allow it to set, take it out, and then use a brush to coat the inside again with some more melted chocolate. So it really is that easy to half temper your chocolate, and if you want to go all out and do a full temper, of course you have my blessing. Okay, while your chocolate is setting in the fridge, we're going to move on to making our strawberry mousse. And again, this is super easy to make. We're only going to use 3 ingredients to bring this strawberry mousse to life, and it's going to take a matter of minutes. Just be careful not to over whip it, otherwise you'll have yourself some strawberry butter. Although that doesn't sound too bad. Making this easy strawberry mousse only requires 3 ingredients. First up, I'm going to prepare my strawberries. I've given them a good wash, and then I'm going to cut off the green stalks. Chop those into some rough chunks and then set to one side. I've got myself my food processor, so I'm adding in the strawberries and some sugar for sweetness, and then blitzing that into a puree. While that's going, I'm then going to pour some double cream into my mixing bowl and then whisk that on a medium speed until it reaches soft peaks. At this point, you can add in your strawberry puree and then continue whisking until it forms stiff peaks. It really is as easy as that. To make sure we can get that nice and smoothly into our chocolate shells, I'm going to transfer the mousse into a piping bag. Again, that is super simple. All you need to do is place a nozzle into your piping bag and then stretch it over a glass, spoon the mousse in, and then it's good to go. So our chocolate shells and our strawberry mousse are now complete, and the third ingredient from our description was the clotted cream. Now this is something that you can find at most supermarkets here in the UK, but if you live slightly further afield, you can replace this one as well with just some normal whipped cream if you prefer. Clotted cream itself is super rich, super velvety and thick, and it usually comes with a little bit of a crisp outer shell on top as well that you need to cut through. Very famous for scones here in the UK, but it's going to work very well into this dessert as well. There's not much prep we need to do for it, so let's assemble our Chocoballs. To assemble your Chocoballs, you want to remove the half shells of chocolates from the silicone mould. I then find that it's actually easier to pop them back in to make sure you've got the support while you assemble. Add in some spoonfuls of clotted cream, and then I've also got some extra strawberries which I chopped up before that I'm going to scatter on top. I'm going to pipe in a generous amount of strawberry mousse. You can then personalise this however you like. I've gone for some chocolate chips, but you could also use candy or your other favourite sweet treats. You can serve these as half shells and they make the perfect dessert, but if you want a full ball, then all you need to do is take half of your chocolate shell, melt the edges, and then use that to stick on top of the other. If you can notice the seams, all you want to do is take some more melted chocolate, run that around the edge, and then you can use some candy to make quite a cool decoration, but also hide the seams. Now that is what I call chocolate magic. And with that, our Honeydukes Chocoballs are complete. Garnish the halves with a sprig of mint, or take your whole Chocoballs to the table and let your guests crack in. So there you go, another chocolate themed Harry Potter dessert ready for you to tuck into. If you're serving these whole, break in and wow your guests, or if you're having them at half domes, probably a better portion size, but it also looks pretty cool as well. Let me know down below in the comments, which do you prefer? That's all for this week's recipe, but if you want to see more from my Harry Potter kitchen, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell, and you'll get an alert every Magic Monday when there's a brand new recipe. I've got a ton of Chocoballs to tuck into, so I'll see you next week.